the production room, and thank you very much for everybody coming. You have an opportunity to volunteer to work on any of the equipment that you might want to, if you choose to do so. You don't have to. You can just be an observer if you want to do that. This is going to be where the actual production takes place, and we have 3 cameras in here. These are beta cams, and we're going to record, and it's going to go back into the director's booth in the next room over here. And we also have a sound engineering and a director's booth in there. And in the room over to your left, we have a character generator. That's going to be the person that puts the title up on the screen. The people's name gets put up there. Camera 1 is going to be focused. Camera 3 is going to be focused on the guest, which is going to be Rick for the first show. Camera 1 is going to be focused on Elise, who's going to be the host. Camera 2 generally focuses on both. So I'm going to be switching back and forth between camera 1, 2, and 3 in the director's booth. So Ken is going to be the floor director, and the floor director is a person, he's talking to me back in the control room. So if something happens, like if something falls down, I'll switch the camera over to get it off of that thing so that Ken can recover it or do whatever it has to be done. Or maybe a guest starts coughing and need water, things like that. He's also communicating with the camera operators. Okay. Those of you that are going to be on camera, please do not move the camera until I tell you. Some people get, to be videographers and they start moving the camera around, and I don't need you to do that. Just keep the camera where it is until I tell you to change the position of it. We also have internet broadcasts. So on this side, we are going to have a Ustream broadcast, and on this side is going to be something called COM-F5. And in the back, I've actually turned these cameras into webcams, so we're going to be broadcasting live over live stream. That's what it took a lot of time. Plus, they lost our music too today. So I had to record another music CD, so a couple of those snafus like that. So we're going to be on 3 channels live. This show will be available for everybody to watch as soon as you go home. It's going to be recorded. It's going to be up on the internet as soon as this is over. And in fact, people all over the world can watch. People in Sudan can watch this. People in Europe, people in Asia can watch this broadcast as we're broadcasting right now. So we're the only people that do that. We're the only group. And so our focus in the coalition is on social justice, human rights, and the environment. Those are mainly the things we focus on. However, right here you got Marilyn McLeod. She's one of our executive producers, and she produces a show, Consider the Possibilities, with Coach Mellon. So it's a empowerment show. And her debut show is going to come on the 24th of August. Elisa's show is Community Issues, a Tapestry of Concerns. She focuses on leaders in the community. We have Laura Thompson back in the booth there. She's another executive director. Her show is Community Artist Connection, and she highlights local artists in the area. And very soon, Rick is going to have his show as well. His show is going to be Let's Talk About Love. He's going to be talking about expanding love more in the community and concepts of love and how we don't love each other enough in our communities and what we can do to have more love for each other. Also, Joe Stevens is going to be starting a show, and you haven't really discussed with me what's all going to be involved. What's happening on your show?
The name of it being Showcase San Diego, and the primary thing is just to focus on San Diego musicians of all types, all genres, all types of bands, acoustic artists and whatnot, but mainly that either started their craft here or have always had their craft here and are very plugged into the music scene. Where it's basically a complement to Laura's show, which is about artists, and I'm just going to cover musicians.
Okay. So basically what we're trying to do is give everyday citizens a voice. We're trying to make sure that our stories get told. You watch the news, you watch television, and you see the junk that's on it. They don't talk about some of the real stuff. Very little information has come out about the people starving to death in East Africa. You don't see that, but you see Britney Spears, you see, all these other, Casey Anthony, you hear all these stories over and over again, but yet there are 12 million people starving in East Africa, and you don't hear that. So we're trying to tell the stories of people right here in San Diego and trying to focus on them, but we're taking it a step further and taking it worldwide. These shows are also going to be converted and put on internet radio as well. So we have the capability of broadcasting live on internet radio, but I found that there's a time constraint that we only have 2 hours per day, and you saw how I had a lot of technical problems, so that causes me to be delayed in getting on the air. So what I do is I upload the shows onto internet radio after we do the broadcast. Now these are live. People in other countries are going to be able to interact with the webcast director that's sitting right here, so they can ask questions. We have a high definition camera right over here. That little camera is high definition. It's very high quality. If some of you guys saw the video that I sent out from my home, I made it with that little camera. This black one right over here in the front is an Orbit mechanical camera, and it actually follows you. If you are teaching a class or something like that, and you stand up and go up to the whiteboard or blackboard, the camera will follow you by itself. So you don't even need to have a camera person. So that's why I like it. I take it in the field with me when I'm by myself and I'm interviewing people. I'll be interviewing Congressman Filner, for example, on the 23rd of August. We also use a camcorder. We have 2 camcorders tonight. So that way, if anything happens with our recording, we still have a digital recording. So we're very redundant. Tonight we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cameras recording. And if you don't mind, I'd like to take you guys on a brief tour, those of you who haven't been around, and let me show you the facility real quick. Then we got to start our production, okay?
Nice to meet you.
Okay, this is the character generation room, and this gentleman is going to be putting the names up on the screen. So as I ask him to put the name up for the guest, to put the name up for the host, he's going to use this computer and they're going to put their titles up on the screen. This is he's going to be rolling the credits and that kind of thing. That's where that happens. He puts the writing up on the screen, essentially right here. Okay, so each one of these little boxes you see right here has a name on it, or it has like the musician that donated music towards that kind of thing. We got to put that up. We got to give them credit for that. Everyone that volunteers on the camera, your name is going to appear on that screen. If you get on the camera, if you're a director or whatever you are, your name will appear on this screen, and it's going to be recorded on a beta tape. Okay? Everybody got that? Yeah. Pretty simple, right? So let's then go over here real quick.
Okay.
Okay, this is our dubbing room. So right now, Cox is still using beta tapes. So there's big tapes over here, those old-fashioned kind of tapes. That's what we use here. So we're converting, they're converting to DVD. But right here, this is where we take the DVDs and we record them on, the beta tapes rather, and record them on the DVD. So this is our dubbing room. One of the things I forgot to mention in the other room is that if we make a mistake on the recording, we can edit the beta tapes in the other room. That big console, that's where we edit our tapes. But usually we get ours right the first time. So that's why I forgot to even mention it, because I haven't been in, I mean, I've been doing this for 7 years. And the first year, I had to go in that room and edit my tapes. But now we don't. We do it very, very well. It's got to be exactly 28 minutes and 30 seconds. That's one of the big things. You got to have 20 seconds of color bars in the beginning and at the end. If you don't have that, the computer will not pick up the broadcast. So that's why these have to be very precise in terms of how long they are. Okay? So the next area we'll go to is the director's room, and then we'll get into the broadcast.
Next room is what? Director's room. Get out of your way here.
Okay. Just kind of squeeze in if you can. Watch out for the computer. Some people come around here if you want. It's fine. Okay, this is the director's group. This is where everything is controlled. Laura is going to be our sound engineer. And Laura is, again, she's one of our executive producers. Her show is Community Artist Connection. And Laura, can you tell them about your show?
Okay, my show airs on Thursday nights at 9:30 at Channel 23 in San Diego and Channel 18 in North County. And what I do is I interview artists who are active in the community. I want to get their name out there so people know what they're doing, and hopefully they'll like their art and maybe buy it. So that is the whole thing, is getting the artist out there, getting them more coverage, exposure. That's basically what I do.
So we all take turns with each other, right? I get behind the camera for her, she gets behind the camera for me, we get behind the camera for Elise, Elise gets behind the camera for us, you know. Marilyn gets behind the camera for us. So we all take turns working for each other. That's the way it works. When my show comes on the 9th of September, they'll be working behind the camera for me. That way we keep our costs down. You see, this is how we're able to broadcast 4 shows every month and only pay $100 a month in general for our budget. Okay, so this is the director's booth. Right here on this computer, I'm going to be broadcasting live over the internet. So that's my other internet channel. This is where the beta tape is going to be put in right here. That's going to record the show. And you don't really have to worry about all these controls. Mainly the thing that you're going to be concerned with here, this is the director's view here. This is what's called the preview. So this is what I'm going to show next. This is what's on right now. For example, I have 3 cameras, camera 1, 2, and 3. Remember camera 2 was in the middle?
Right.
So right here, this panel right here shows the camera that's live right now. This camera shows what's going to be next. So if I want to switch from camera 1 to 2, if I want to go, in this case, from camera 3 to 2, then I just push this bar and you see it changes. Whatever here is going to be what's next. So when I shift this bar, this picture is going to come up over here. So that way, when Rick starts talking, I'm going to put the camera on him. When Elise starts talking, I'm going to put the camera on her. So I'm going back and forth. So it's sort of an artwork, okay, where you're going to go back and forth. And then when I want to show both of them, I push this button because I know I'm going to do both. So when I hear Elise, when I hear Rick talking, right, I know Elise is going to talk next. So I got Elise on this next. This is what's going to be next. I know she's going to be the next person talking, right? So then Rick finished talking, I put Elise on. If I want to say that I want to show, I want to put it on Rick. See, I can go back and forth between Rick and Elise like that. See? And then occasionally, I'm going to have these headphones on. I'm going to be telling the character generator, put up the name for the guest, put up the name for the host, roll the credits. And then Laura is going to be playing the theme music in the beginning. And then I'm going to say to Laura, stop playing the music. I'm going to tell this person to drop the credits, and then we're going to start the broadcast, you see. There are going to be 2 countdowns for those of you that are on camera. The first countdown is to start the show. The second countdown is for the host to start talking. See? So this is the timer right here. So we have to be very precise, okay, with the time. It's got to be exactly 28 minutes and 30 seconds. So whomever the director is has got to push 2 buttons at one time. And see, people get very nervous because you got to do this at the same time. And then people get nervous and they don't push the button, and then it doesn't start, and then we have to start all over again. You know, it seems easy, right? It's like you're calm, you know, you get the countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then all of a sudden your fingers go. You know, but it looks so easy. I tell people, okay, just go ahead, push the 2 buttons, say, oh, I can do that, it's easy. You know, and then the countdown comes, 5, 4. Something happens to the finger. I don't know what happens. But you got to push these buttons at the same time, and it's got to be precise. You got to do it. You got to, and you can't push it like a little girl. You got to.
So you're it.
I'm sorry.
You're the button pusher, right?
I'm the director tonight. Yes.
Okay. I'm glad.
So, that's kind of what's going. So the director's got a lot of responsibility. You know, you're talking to the camera people. Let's say that there is a wire on the floor. I got to tell camera 1 to zoom in. Now, what if you're on camera 1 and you decide to move the camera around like some people do? Well, you're going to make this look really bad. You see what I'm saying? Or if there is something hanging, like, you know, something over here like that or something, the floor director and director are responsible for getting that off of the screen. Okay? You don't, if there's wires or something that's showing up, or maybe one of the webcams gets in the way, those are the kind of things you got to look out for. So you got to be assertive when you're a floor director or a director. Now, everybody here is a regular citizen. We don't have experts, so we expect mistakes. We're trying to achieve excellence, not perfection. But the idea is that everybody here will learn to do their own show if you choose to do so. That's what you'll do. And you'll learn to do webcasting and everything else. Everybody has an opportunity to be a director. You don't start out as director. Most people start out on camera. They start out as floor director. Okay? Any questions? Everybody kind of got the gist of what's going on, the general idea, right?
Yes.
Who's ready to be director right now? Anybody? Come on, you know what you want to do. So the idea is that with these headphones on, when you are a director, you got to direct. And you should be talking constantly, telling people how much time they have left.
And there is somebody holding a sign. You have 2 minutes.
Yes.
You have 30 minutes.
Right.
You're over time. Get the hell out of there.
Well, when they become overtime, what happens is, I being on the soundboard, I can turn the music up and mute their mic. I can cut them off.
Right.
She's got the power.
When you're
So when the
smart
time is
sound
up,
engineer,
then
sound engineers just look. See, sometimes a story gets very interesting. You can just be like this into the story and forget that you're supposed to be doing something. Right? And so the other thing is that I've had things fall on top of my head. Oh, you find that humorous? You
Yes.
still find it humorous?
I was there.
Yeah. My head was hot for a long time. And you know, it seemed like that bamboo thing wasn't that heavy, but that was a
was heavy.
substantial impact. I'm telling you, that thing hurts. It falls in your head, it changes your plans. Whatever you were doing, you're going to stop doing it.
All right.
But we need floor directors that are going to be assertive and not just sit there and look at me with that thing on top of my head. And I also need a director that's not going to leave the camera on me. Switch the camera over here on her and get it off of me so that, you know, the audience is not seeing me like this with this thing on top of me, right? Or we had a screaming kid, you know, that was crying, and then I didn't have a director or a floor director that would come in, get the kid over, you know, and the kid was screaming, and that's why we don't let kids coming here no more. So, you see, so when you get these positions, please be assertive and think about what you also want to do for you, right?
Yes.
Any questions? Everybody got a general idea, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
And everybody's assigned to what you're going to do
Yes.
in terms of training?
Yes, I'm an observer tonight.
Okay, well, that's it. Let's get the show on the road.
It's an observer.
Could love drive you to fly? Could hope be the only way? And would it be a crazy question? Would you take it all and throw it all away? Take me down to the final decision, and the world will break apart today. Take me down to the final decision, and the world will break apart today. And the world will break apart today. Could freedom be between the lines? And joy a life foundation springing up to find that every thought will lead to nothing, no matter how hard you try to define. Take me down to the final decision, and the world will break apart today. Take me down to the final decision, and the world will break apart today. I open my arms to the end of time. I got one hand on a mummy and the other on a green tree, orange-eyed gecko. I got one foot on a street in the village and the other in a mine under Colorado sunshine. Under Colorado sunshine. Could you stand in the way of progress? Could you laugh it off and say, I'd let it all fall down and let the rhymes come. I'd waste away and let the roots grow around some. Take me down to the final decision, and the world will break apart today. Take me down to the final decision, and the world will break apart today. And the world will break apart today.